So, um, have you ever run into a tool that feels, well, almost ancient, but then you hear the real pros talk about it like it's indispensable?
Oh, absolutely.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that kind of legend, Vim. It's the text editor people often call, the gold standard.
hmm
You've shared some great sources, and our mission here is to unpack why Vim is still so dominant, pull out the key stuff, and really explain why it holds that status. Basically, give you a shortcut to being properly clued in.
Yeah, and to really get Vim, you kind of have to understand its history. It's fascinating, actually. It's not just software, it's like a living timeline from old teletype machines to the screens we use now.
Okay, right.
Its efficiency wasn't just a goal, it was a necessity born from some pretty serious tech limits back then.
Okay, let's dig into that. How did those limitations, those constraints, actually end up shaping Vim?
Well, it starts even before Vim with Ed Ken Thompson, 1969.
Wow, okay.
Think about editing on a teletype printer. No screen. You're essentially editing blind, just getting printed output.
Hard to imagine.
Right. But that forced the creation of core ideas we still use. W to write, Q to quit. That's foobarg syntax for find and replace. And crucially, the whole idea of having different modes.
Ah, the modal concept started way back then.
Then Bill Joy comes along at Berkeley in 1979 and creates V's. And if you want to connect the dots, V was really forged in the fire of, well, pretty painful hardware limitations.
But what specifically?
Think a super slow, like 300 baud dial-up connection.
Ouch.
Yeah, connecting to a Lear-Siegler ADM3A terminal. Very basic stuff.
And these limits had some really unexpected effects, didn't they? Like the navigation keys.
Exactly. HJKL for moving the cursor. Those weren't dedicated arrow keys. They were
Yeah.
just painted arrows on the actual HJKL keys on that specific terminal's keyboard.
No way.
Yep. And the escape key. It was right where the tab key usually is now. Super convenient for switching out of insert mode.
Huh. Makes sense.
And think about commands like D for delete, Y for yank, single letters, Y. To send as little data as possible over that slow line, it let you type ahead of what was showing up on the screen.
So these ancient problems accidentally created this super efficient minimal keystroke system we still talk about today. That's wild.
It really is. Necessity drove innovation in a very direct way.
Okay, so that's the origin. But let's talk about the core idea itself, modal editing. What does that actually mean for someone using it?
Right. The basic idea, the philosophy, is that when you're editing code or text, you actually spend most of your time moving around and changing existing stuff, not just typing brand new sentences.
Yeah, that's true.
So Vim separates those actions. You have normal mode, which is the default. Here, your entire keyboard is basically a command console. Keys do things like delete lines, jump between words, copy text, etc.
Okay.
Then, when you actually want to type new text, you explicitly enter insert mode. Now, it works like, Notepad or any other editor. You type, characters appear. Then you hit escape to go back to normal mode.
Gotcha. Commands versus typing.
And this leads to what people call the Vim language. It's kind of like a grammar, verb plus noun.
Verb plus noun. How does that work?
Simple example. D is a verb, delete. W is a noun, word. Put them together. DW deletes the word your cursor is on.
Okay, DW, delete word. Makes sense.
But it gets more powerful with text objects. These are like semantic nouns. So refers to quotes. CI means change inner quotes. It deletes everything inside the nearest quotes and puts you in insert mode.
Ah, so C is change, I is inner, is quotes.
Exactly. Or duh. Delete around quotes. That deletes the quotes and the text inside. It lets you think about the text's structure, not just characters.
Okay, that's clever. And then there's the famous dot command, right?
Yeah.
That seems like a big deal.
Oh, it's huge. It's often the first real aha moment. Imagine you change, say, old variable to new variable. You might do that with psi. Change inner word, type new variable, hit S. Now, you move your cursor to the next place you see old variable and just press the period key. Vim repeats that entire change sequence, ser, typing new variable, hitting esc instantly.
Wow, that saves a ton of typing.
A massive amount. And for even more complex stuff, you've got macros, where you can record any sequence of commands and replay it with a single keystroke. Serious automation potential.
So with all that history and this unique editing model, why is it still considered a gold standard today? With all the fancy IDs we have now.
That's the key question, isn't it? In an age of, feature-packed environments, why stick with this?
Well, I think it boils down to maybe three main pillars. First, ubiquity.vi is part of the POSX standard. That means it's basically everywhere. Almost any Unix-like system you log into, from a tiny Raspberry Pi to a massive server, It's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Essential for sysadmins.
Totally. You can even do vim scp.user at serverpath-to-file.txt and edit a remote file directly. Super handy.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Second pillar, performance. Vim is written in C. It's incredibly lightweight and just fast, blazingly fast. People have done benchmarks. It starts up something like 80% faster and uses maybe 96% less RAM than, say, VS Code or other Electron-based editors.
That makes a huge difference with big files or older hardware.
Absolutely crucial. And third, extensibility. You can customize Vim endlessly through your dot files, like the .vmrc file. And now, especially with NeoVim, there's a big shift towards using Lua for scripting, which has opened the door to really powerful modern plugins.
Like language servers.
Exactly. Language Server Protocol, LSP, for intelligent code completion, error checking, refactoring, even AI integration for code suggestions. It keeps up.
So that combination, ubiquitous, fast, and modernly extensible, it keeps it incredibly competitive. It doesn't sacrifice its core strengths to add new tricks. It really is a benchmark.
Now, okay, the elephant in the room. The learning curve. People always say Vim is incredibly hard to learn.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
But is it true? I mean, getting the basics down. Vim Tutor is built right in, isn't it? It's this interactive tutorial.
Mm-hmm. Takes maybe 30 minutes to go through.
Right. So basic competence, just moving around, saving, quitting, simple edits. That comes surprisingly quickly. Weeks of consistent practice, and you can become pretty proficient.
And the payoff isn't just about typing speed. That's kind of a misconception. It's more about reducing cognitive load.
How so?
When the commands become muscle memory, you think, delete this paragraph, and your fingers just execute DAP, delete around paragraph, without you consciously thinking through the steps. It doesn't interrupt your flow of thought like grabbing a mouse, selecting text, hitting delete. Those are separate mechanical actions.
I see. Less mental juggling.
Exactly. Plus, there are ergonomic benefits. Your hands stay on the home row, less reaching for the mouse or arrow keys, which can genuinely reduce strain, RSI risk.
So ultimately, it's about getting to that flow state where the editor just gets out of your way and becomes like an extension of your thinking. Editing becomes a craft.
Precise.
Okay, so wrapping up, we've seen how Vim is this really unique mix. History shaped by tough constraints, this sort of cognitive language for manipulating text, plus those solid technical advantages everywhere, super fast, hugely customizable. It all adds up.
Yeah, it's not the standard because it's the easiest thing to just pick up cold or because it has the most buttons. It's the gold standard because it represents a kind of benchmark for mastery and efficiency in the actual craft of editing text. And maybe a final thought for you to consider. Almost every single major modern code editor or IDE has a popular plugin to emulate Vim's key bindings and modal editing.
That's true, yeah.
So what does that fact alone tell you about just how powerful and enduring this editing paradigm really is? And maybe more importantly, how much time and focus could mastering it actually save you?